Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webcast. My name is Rachel Bourke, and I'm here with my wonderful business partner and fabulous husband, Colin Eggins. Together, we run SalesSPACE. Welcome to our webcast, All Out Sales Success, how to attract the right leads and convert like crazy.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I know some of you have worked with us before, but most of you are new to SalesSPACE. Either way, we're looking forward to a wonderful session. We love having you here, and there'll be some valuable takeaways.
So this is where we've got a fantastic number of registrations. So people are still coming onto the call as we're waiting. So we waited for a few minutes so everybody could get on in. But we're running it as a webcast because there are so many people who are joining us today. What we're going to do is break it up into 3 teaching segments. So we're going to have exercises and we're going to have questions as well. So if we've got time, we'll answer as many questions at the end as we possibly can. So what we would love you to do as we're actually going through the webcast is to write any of your answers into chat so that we can get to them as soon as we can. And if we don't get to them on the webcast, then we can certainly answer it in the next week before our next session next Wednesday. We're going to go instantly into a live poll. So let's get an idea of where you are all at with being able to get clear. So the name of this webcast says it all. A confused mind says no. But what do we mean by that? Well, first of all, if you are speaking to a prospect and there is any part of their brain that is actually unclear or confused by what you are saying, then instinctually you will push them into a threat response. So it is our role as business owners and leaders to actually help our clients or help our prospects or the people we're talking to gain clarity. Because if they are confused, they will say no. So this is why this session is so important. Be clear. People will say no to you unless they have that clarity. So what I want to do straight away this morning is engage you immediately on and understand where you are at in your own business and your own ability to have clarity to move forward. So grab out a piece of pen and paper, and I want you to track the number of yeses and the number of no's you give yourself. So I'm going to state what I want you, the question, and then I want you to write yes or no. So the first question is, and I'd love you to actually answer it on the poll on your screen. Number 1, at the start of the pandemic, have you created a new sales strategy and have a clear direction to trade comfortably through the rest of 2020? Yes or no? Perfect. The next one I'm going to ask you is, number 2, since March 2020, have you reworked your pitch so it speaks with relevance to your chosen prospects? Have you reworked your pitch so it's absolutely relevant to the people you need to sell to today? Let's go to poll with that one. Number 3. Have you a narrow and deep target market? Are you known for your niche? Are you really good with your targeting? Have you got a narrow and deep target market? Are you known for your niche? And the next one is number 4. You are certain, I should say, that your products and services are still relevant and wanted by your clients? Yes or no? And 5, you use visual models to streamline your message and they help you convert sales. With this. So let's go for scores. What is your total number of yeses? All right, so let's actually go now to what is really happening with our situation at the moment. So for what we all know to be very true is that this crazy situation that we're all experiencing in 2020, we're calling it the great distillation. It is It is a time when we all must be incredibly deliberate in our business, because if we are not, for many, business will be over. We need to think very deeply around what is going on from a business perspective.
Yeah, right now the stakes are higher than they've ever been, and now success requires deliberate action and commitment. These will not guarantee success, but you're guaranteed not to succeed without them. So that's action and commitment.
What we all know is that leads are very scarce at the moment. We also know that prospects are harder to convert than ever before. The leads that we do get are more conscious of risk. And there is so much at stake. Time is precious. There is no time to waste, and no time to waste on people that are never going to buy from you.
Exactly. So for all our sales success, we must be clear, be bold, and be proven.
Okay, so what do we mean by that? First of all, being clear, and that's what today's session is all about. Essentially, it's about knowing exactly what you do and what you don't. And then it's all about knowing who you do sell to and who you don't sell to.
Yeah, those are really important points. Knowing who you sell to and especially who you don't, but what you do and exactly what you don't.
Okay, clients crave clarity. And let's get one thing straight. Clarity is something that you deliver. It's not about providing more detail. We need to distill our thoughts. If there's nothing else that you take away from today, remember this. Clarity takes a lot of thinking, but is delivered simply.
Think about it like fine print. Lawyers and solicitors think clarity comes from fine print or more information. But as clients, we know that that's just confusing.
Okay, so there are 3 parts to clarity, 3 parts to success around clarity, and it has 3 elements. And they are, and as you can see on the screen right now, we've got 2 variable and 1 is fixed. The first one is the right message, and now it is variable. The second one is the right people, and the fixed one is the right time. We are thinking, because what we're running this webcast and it's all about having sales success right now, we're going to fix that timing element, and we're going to look here at the message and the people.
So the right people, today we'll consider these in turn with you. So first we'll be deciding who are the right people and how do you know. Everyone is no one. So the right message to the wrong person will fall on deaf ears.
Once you know your market, we will create a compelling pitch that speaks directly to them and cleverly repels the non-ideal. Many people think of it of messaging like a magnet to attract as many clients as possible. The more you can attract, the better. Well, this approach is only half right, and you'll be drowning in tire kickers. A real magnet both attracts and repels, and so should your messages.
Exactly. Timing significantly affects what you say. For the purpose of making money straight away, we're locking the timing in as now.
So what we're going to look at today straight up is, who is your ideal client that will buy in any economic climate, I should say? And the answer is targeting. And this is the deep thinking we need to do to ensure we're attracting the right people who will buy in this climate today.
I love this quote. As Abraham Lincoln so rightly said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. Targeting is the thinking that we do that makes everything else easier and more effective. It's the thinking you must do to attract the ideal client. Before you can think about tailoring any messages, whether it be pitch, objections, a cold call, even a blog post, you must do your targeting thinking.
So why does this really matter? Because as researched in detail by Professor Frank Alpert, the Associate Professor at the School of Business, University of Queensland, the biggest changer of purchase decisions is feeling targeted. What that means to us is that we must ensure our perfect clients feel important. And this happens through our actions and our choice of words. To do this properly, we must follow these certain rules. The first one is, Remember, everyone is no one. Your chosen target market must be narrow and deep. If you are trying to sell to everybody out there, then you will get no one. Make sure your target market is narrow and deep. And by our poll results, then most of you, a lot of you, are very good with that already, which is excellent. The second one is to know your market inside out. For example, we have to know their values. We have to know their pain points, the objections that we hear from that market quite regularly, their history, the competitor offers that you are dealing with as well. Very importantly, we need to speak their language. If you are speaking in a highly technical way and you are speaking to people who don't speak that technical language, then you are pushing them into that threat response. So we need to speak a similar language to the people that we are actually wanting to attract as well. Okay, we also need to show a depth of knowledge and prove our results. So we need to ask the right questions that really prove our knowledge, and we need to provide as much proof as possible, because the rational thinking brain of your prospects is craving proof. So we also must focus on your target market's doubts and immediate concerns. Okay, so Colin, we're now going to go into our first exercise, and now everybody, this is what we're going to do now is this exercise is based on the vital thinking you need to do to attract your ideal client. So we're going to bring up the questions that we want you to answer, and we're going to leave them on screen for only a moment, but then we're going to give you some examples of exactly what you need to be, examples of what you need to be thinking about to answer these questions for yourself. And then we're going to bring the answers back up onto the screen. Now, you're only going to be given a couple of minutes to start considering this. This, done properly, actually takes hours. It's incredibly important to do your targeting thinking. Targeting just changes the game completely in terms of your ability to attract the ideal clients.
This takes hours for just one market, but you will probably have a number of markets within your business. So it's hours and hours of work, but it's so important. So whilst this exercise is just a few minutes, go back into your office and take the time to do the targeting thinking so you can have conversations that attract the right clients for each of your products and for each of your markets.
Okay, so you've got some paper and some pens. So let's do this now. So the first question is, who are they? We need to look at the specifics with your target market, your chosen target market that you want to work on today and want to attract. So we're going to go into who are they, and we'll show you some examples of what we mean by that.
I think just to quickly add to that, remember at the start we said it's about knowing who they are, but as you go along, just have a think about who aren't they? So who are they not? Who would you say no to as opposed to who would you say yes to? It's a really important consideration.
Absolutely.
So who are they?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, what are they experiencing? What are they currently feeling right now? Right in this specific time, in the middle of this year, what are they feeling and what have they been going through? What do they value? What is important to them? What do they care about most? And also, what do they want in the future? So let us show you some examples of this, and then we're going to bring the questions back up so you can actually start thinking about this for yourself. So first of all,
these questions might not seem like rocket science, but let me tell you, they are super important.
Absolutely. All right. So who are they? An example of this is a female aged 35 to 50, someone who is earning a salary or taking a salary of $150,000 per year. They run their own business and they've done so for over 7 years. Their turnover is 1 million plus. They've got 3 employees. They live in Sydney, about 5 k's from the CBD. They're married with 2 children and they have a gym membership. And also, they travel with their family at least once a year.
What you can see from these things is that they're things that you could typically use to group your ideal clients. Now, there's no right or wrong with these, so it's up to you to do the thinking about what is the ideal in your business. And remember, it's just not a reflection of history. It's not who have my clients been up until now. Now is an opportunity for us to change and actually pick the ideal client. So for a client to be ideal for you or a particular product, what are the things that you can observe? So who are they is about what you can observe about the ideal client. What gender? What industry are they in? Is there a size of company that is best? Should it be 300 employees? Should it be 3? Remember, these are just examples and it's not an exhaustive list.
And normally it's around the things that you can actually research about them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. These things are easily researched. And if you like to think of it another way, this is a list of criteria that you could give somebody else to research your ideal client. So to go and find your ideal client with these. Who are they?
Okay, the next one is, what are they experiencing? So let's give you some examples. So right now, lower revenue, leads are drying up, increased pressure to say yes to the non-ideal clients, I should say. Conversion rates are dropping, loss of valuable employees, tension at home, and also a lack of control. But also something different. It may be that they have, due to an opportunity, they have outgrown their current financing arrangement. So there's a lot of different things that they can be experiencing. Not all negative. Some things can be positive. They could have got a massive new opportunity because of this pandemic that they are trying to work out what to do. But that is an experience that they're having right now. So examples of that. So you need to think deeply around what they could be experiencing, negative and positive.
Yeah, these things are typically not easily researched. So they're things that people may be experiencing to be your ideal, but you're not necessarily going to find those listed on LinkedIn. So our who are they are easily researchable. But when we get into what are they experiencing, start to think about what would make your ideal client, what would your ideal client be experiencing? Is there a certain situation that they'd be in? And importantly, as Rachel said, it's not just negative. There's positive things out there that people are experiencing that make them the ideal. They may have just had a certain amount of growth in their business, which gives them an opportunity or a constraint that you can overcome. So what are they experiencing?
Okay, what are they feeling? For example, scared for their financial future, overwhelmed by the need to restructure, frustrated by government policies, stressed by customer queries, and pressure to improve performance, whether it be theirs or their team.
Now, make no mistake, what your clients are feeling is the most important thing. Yes, we look at who are they so we can group them together. Yes, we look at what they're experiencing so that we can see what indicators that make them ideal to us. If we're going to have conversations, emotional conversations that move people to action, we must know what they're feeling. So think very, very deeply about what your clients are feeling.
Next one, what do they value? For example, the values that they hold very dear to them: certainty, freedom, choices, financial security, respect, structure, reputation, trust. These are the things that they, as I said, they hold very dearly. It is what drives them to be who they are and what they care about and think about on a daily basis. What someone values is incredibly important for you to know. What I teach, what we've been teaching for years, and I believe wholeheartedly, understanding what someone values is a superpower in sales. So knowing this about your ideal clients is absolutely essential so that you can connect with them and attract them into your business. What do they want in the future? For example,
things like revenue growth, a streamlined business model, smaller team of talented, highly productive people, wealth, more engaged staff, reputation as a leader in their field. What we're looking at here is once we've set a baseline, once we know where our clients are, it's extremely important for us to have conversations that, yes, are emotional. They move our clients to action, but they must aspire to something. And we need to offer what they aspire to. So what you're thinking here is, what is it that you can do that helps your clients move to where they want to go? And in order to know that, we need to know where it is they actually do want to go. So what do they want in the future?
Okay, so let's bring up those questions again. Who are they? What are they experiencing? What are they currently feeling? What do they value? What do they want in the future?
So let's just think about who are they for a moment. And go back and remember, these are the things that you're using to group your clients, things that are easily researched and things that you might be able to give an assistant to create a list of your ideal clients. So who are they? Industry, geographics, demographics,
Okay. Perfect. The next one is, what are they experiencing? Cole, go back into what do they need to be thinking about in terms of experiencing?
Remember, what your clients are experiencing is asking you about the situation that they're currently in. Now, that situation may have just changed. It may be that they're now in a pandemic, but I don't want it to be all about that. There's many other situations that create the ideal client. And it could be that if you own a baby retail store, then it'd be very nice to know that you're attracting clients who are thinking about having a baby. So one of the situations that they're in is they're thinking about having a baby. You might see on television often ads that say, have you been left out of a will? So that's a situation, difficult to research about somebody, but it's a situation that you can speak to. Have you been left out of a will? Have you been involved in a motor vehicle accident? We see that in TV advertising. So what is it that might make your client ideal? What situation might they be in? They may have hit a growth ceiling in their business. They may have a team that's underperforming. It could be that they're having trouble managing their staff. Whatever your expertise is, have a think about what situation makes a client ideal. An architect might be looking for clients who are thinking about building a house.
Okay. What are they currently feeling? Okay, so think about all those things they're experiencing and what emotions are being brought on, evoked by those experiences. Are they stressed? Are they overwhelmed? Are they feeling despondent? Are they excited by certain things? Are they feeling confused? Are they feeling inspired? What is it that they're feeling when you think about what they're currently experiencing? Being able to use these emotions correctly in your sales conversations will massively change your conversion rate.
Yeah, I think it's really important at this point to remember that in a big organization, if you sell to corporate, then there's a decision maker in that organization and they're a human being. And so it's important for us to know what they're feeling. And regardless of whether we use that information, so we may, a bit later on, Rachel will be talking to you about using some of this information in your pitch. That's great, but in order to have a conversation with somebody and know that and have them know that you understand them, it's nice to be able to touch on some of these feelings that you know that they're feeling.
Okay, the next one, what do they value? What do they care about most? So I said before, is it trust? Is it respect? Is it certainty? Is it security? Is it family? Is it adventure? Is it freedom? Is it wealth? What do this perfect ideal client that you want to attract right now, what do they value? And think about it, what do they value from a personal perspective, from a business perspective, from a family perspective, from a growth perspective? There's so many different ways you need to think through what people care about most.
I think that what do they value is a really important one to think about, because in business, sometimes we get values. A decision maker may have a personal value that differs to the company value. A company may be very, very much stakeholder. It's all about money. I just need to drive revenue. Whereas the decision maker may have personal values that are very, very ethical. And we need to know those values to be able to conduct our conversations and our behavior without breaching values. So it's one thing to know values, to then provide a service that addresses those values, but knowing your client's personal values is very important with regard to constraints of behavior.
Okay, and what do they want in the future? Think about the aspirational goals that they have, the outcomes they want to achieve in the future. This is a super important part of the targeting thinking that many people don't do. So those sort of words and these sort of concepts are incredibly important for us to use in your messaging, in your conversations, in your marketing material. So their aspirations for the future.
Now, I think while we're talking about aspirations, we need to know what our clients want to achieve in the future, but also start to think about how they might want to be described. What is the reputation that they want to have? If you can address somebody's ego and their reputation and their status, then that's very important as well. So it's not always just about making more money. It can be around, just creating this reputation for a client, how they want to be seen. And that leads on to asking yourself, what words would your client want to be used to describe them?
Yeah,
So
really
would they
important.
like to be seen as forward thinking? Would they like to be seen as leaders? Maybe they would like to be seen as astute, or they class themselves as ambitious. If we can then feed that back to them, it's so very powerful.
Definitely. Okay, we're going to leave that exercise now. As I said before, this is detailed. You should be spending hours on this for each of your different target markets. So we've given you insight into what you need to be thinking. Now we're going to shift gears and actually go into your pitch. So the second part of what we're doing today in our session is the best answer to what do you do? And which also helps you answer, when you do it correctly, why should I buy from you over your competitors? Your pitch needs to be that good that it answers those sort of things straight up, those questions in your prospects' minds. So first of all, the perfect pitch. Now, what I want you to know about this is that don't assume that your pitch that was perfect pre-COVID is still perfect post-COVID, or right now in the thick of it. So we have been working very hard with a lot of our clients over the last couple of months to ensure that their pitch is modified so that it is really relevant to the target markets that you're wanting to attract today. So there are some we do so much pitch work. The fine tuning of your perfect pitch is something that, it takes time to distill. And one of the first slides we put up today was talking about distilling your thoughts. And what we certainly know when it comes to pitch development is that people give us what we see, like it comes out in bucket format, and this huge amount of words. And what we need to be able to do is actually distill it and make it drip through that bucket, like a distillation process, so that it comes out the bottom of the funnel, this beautiful, potent, amazing pitch. And that's what you need to do. But to be able to do that, then there are a few rules that you need to be thinking about to make your pitch that perfect. And the first one is that you need to tailor to your targets. So yes, you may have a pitch that works for your business as a whole or your practice as a whole, but you need to have a pitch for each of your different target markets, because you're going to take your targeting thinking that you've already done, and we're going to show you a preparation table in a moment, the preparation exercise you must do before you create any pitch and how it relates to the targeting. But you must target your pitch to your target so it lights up their brain. And remember, it's very important that they feel important. That's what targeting's all about. A perfect pitch will make them feel important.
Now, when we talk about tailoring to your targets, it may be that there's just one word that changes, or it may be that we're selling the same product to a slightly different industry, and so they see you as somebody slightly different. So it might be that we just change your job role, or we just change one word, but tailoring your pitch to your targets is extremely important.
Rule number 2, always complete your pitch preparation table first. We're going to show that to you in a moment, but make sure you do the work and do the thinking before creating a pitch. I have seen some pretty wild pitches and heard some very wild pitches in my time of helping people do this. And sometimes their pitch, just what they say at the start doesn't match what they say at the end. So you need to make sure it's all congruent and flows beautifully so that your target resonates with exactly the right people that you want to attract. Rule number 3, repetition of a word turns people off. Now, I tell you what, if I was an English teacher, I'd have a lot of red pen marks going through a lot of pitches that I read. If you have a particular word that you say in your business regularly,
that is one. Business is a very difficult word to take out of your pitch.
You need to work out a number of different ways to say that one word. So you can't say business, a few more words, business, a few more words, business. And so I heard a pitch the other day that had the word business in it 5 times in 5 sentences. The thing with repeating a word, the minute you repeat a word twice, then you're going to get a no. Because the person thinks, God, didn't they listen to themselves say that beforehand? That just, wow. If you want your pitch to resonate and attract the right people and actually move someone forward in a sales conversation, you must never repeat words. Say it once, find a new way of saying it in the next couple of lines. Rule number 4, it's not about you, it's about them. It's about your target audience. It's not about you. The minute you make things all about you, you will switch people off. People want everything. We know this to be about them. but so many people get that wrong as well. And rule number 5, this is one of my favorites. You need to script it, then you strip it, and then you speak it and repeat. So script it, strip it, then speak it. So what we know to be true is people write out their scripts and they are massive, and then they speak it and they go, oh, okay, I repeated loads of words. This went for way too long and I need to do this again. So what they don't do is go back and strip it out. You will invariably write down too many words. You need to strip it out. I'm going to give you an example of one of my pitch so that you can see exactly what I mean by that.
Just quickly, Rachel, while you've got those rules up on screen, if we were to take the word pitch out of the rules to creating, and we said rules to creating sales messages that work, each of those is exactly what you need to do for any sales message. So a pitch is just a sales message, but whether you're writing emails, whether it's your bio, whether it's a blog post, start to go through this and say, look, they have to be tailored, of course. The pitch preparation, just think of that as the targeting work that we've just informed you of. So if you do that targeting, repetition, we want to stop that repetition in everything. It's always about them and not us. And script, strip, speak. It works for all sales messages, not just your pitch.
Okay, so let us show you now the pitch preparation table. Okay, I'm just going to put us down the bottom of our screen so we're not taking over the top. All right, so as you can see here, this is the table that you need to be using when you develop any pitch in the future, moving forward in the future. So it's all about your target market's biggest problems, your solution to that problem, and the benefit to the client. So first of all, you write down in the table, as you can see here on the left-hand side, their biggest, so your target market that you want to attract now, their biggest problem. And this, if you go back to your targeting, is what you've written under what they are experiencing. So look at the negatives of what they are currently experiencing and write down what is the biggest problems that they are feeling right now. The next one is your solution. So what you do to overcome that, and saying that in a nutshell, saying that as a succinct message is going to be the challenge.
I think that's the ideal, but in the first instance, let's just get the thinking down. Let's get it into the table.
Yeah, absolutely. It will have to go through that distillation phase. Yeah. And then the benefit to the client. So make sure your benefit matches the solution, which matches the problem. Okay, I can't stress that strongly enough. Sometimes people get it all wrong and they sort of start putting things in that don't match. So the benefit to the client. So you go to what they want in the future in the targeting thinking that you've done, and you put that into this column here. So this is how you can start to have a framework to start to create, I should say, moving forward, pitches that are matched to your target markets.
So I guess if we looked at the biggest problem, and we talked about a team in a corporate setting, and the biggest problem might be that they're underperforming due to some reason. So it could be that the biggest problem is we've got an underperforming team.
Yep.
And the solution might be to teach a new improved culture. So we might be culture experts. So let's talk about a team that's underperforming. Our solution could be to improve the culture, and the benefit is so that the team increases engagement and achieves greater revenue. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let me give you an example of my pitch so you can see how this rolls together. There is a framework to creating your pitch. All right, so hi, my name is Rachel Bourke, founder and head trainer at SalesSPACE. Essentially, I'm a sales coach. Hang on, let me just move I'm going to jump out of there. Essentially, I'm a sales coach, but what I'm obsessed with is the art of selling without ever sounding salesy. You know how distressing it is when it doesn't matter how hard you work, you never seem to make enough money. What I do is teach ambitious service professionals and thought leaders a new approach to selling so that their revenue reflects their expertise. And back again. Okay, so we're going to send you this example in the tip sheet tomorrow so you can see the framework and you can start to create your own pitch for so that you can attract the right clients into your business. Oh, great. So that's the next exercise. Now, we're not going to give you any time to do that. We need to push forward. Now we're moving into part 3 of clarity. and this is about visuals. Now let's talk about the visuals that will wow buyers and have them craving more. Something that is very dear to our heart. We spend a lot of time doing with our clients, creating models that actually work. So Cole, let's talk about why models are so important.
Okay, so when clarity is the goal, visuals are the key. When quick and easy understanding is required, you'll always find pictures. Each of these examples was taken from a country that doesn't speak English. And so we can see we actually use them here, and they're quite simple. So selling is no different. Eyes are always drawn to images. Now, we've had thousands of years of deciding whether something's attractive or dangerous based on sight, not on language. But I guess that brings up one thing. Be careful with images because they need to be safe and not overwhelming or confusing. So too much detail will make your images actually a detraction rather than attraction.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let me give you an example of one of our models here. Now, we believe that good visuals reap rewards. This is one of the models that we use at SalesSPACE, and we talk to it because it is the truth about revenue growth. There are 5 specific phases that every single business owner must go through if they are to really build that revenue in their business and make it sustainable and exciting for the future. So this is our model, and we truly believe that good visuals reap rewards.
In the sales process, I think we just think of models as visual representation of your value. And done properly, a model can take your client's understanding from a 3 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. And when every client is desperate to judge and compare you to your competitors, it's imperative your value is obvious and clear to their instinctual brain. Now, over the past 20 years, there's been a real surge in the use of infographics, but models are just so much more than that. The difference between a model and an infographic comes down to inspiration versus observation. An infographic is purely observation. It represents fact and shows exactly what is. We get that. But on the other hand, a model visually represents an idea or inspires your clients to dream about the possibilities available to them. Remember what we were talking about with what do our clients want in the future. Models resonate for an extended period of time because they must be designed to emotionally affect your client. Models are just becoming more and more widely used to underpin and reinforce IP. But at SalesSPACE, we've developed a framework to use them to sell, which is very important.
Okay, so for your models to sell and to wow your buyers and have them craving more, they must be aspirational. They must be relevant and engaging. Very important. They mustn't just be a download of all your IP. They must be aspirational, relevant, and engaging.
Yeah, for those of us who have models that underpin IP, one of the keys is to actually let go of that detail, let go of that thinking. It's very, very hard to do, but you have to let go of some detail to use your models to sell.
Okay, and so we use models to show our value proposition, our methodology, our process, and very importantly, contrast. A contrast model is incredibly powerful for the instinctual brain, and we can talk about that later. Very important information to understand how the brain reacts in sales conversations and sales presentations. But in summary, models are used to show these 4 critical elements of your sales process. So if you have models already, and there's a shot on the screen of an example of some of our models, then my message to you is you must modify your models. And what I mean by that is ensure your wording, the wording of your models, speaks to the current mindset and situation of your chosen target market. Remember, we want to attract exactly the right clients right now and convert them like crazy. So to be able to do that, you need to modify your models to make sure they are relevant to the current mindset and situation of your target market. Back to your targeting work. This is where it all actually starts rolling in. We're now going to show you some examples of some other business models that people are using. There are masses of them that you can see as examples on the internet. But creating the perfect one for you and your business is there's quite an art to it to make sure that you can use it as a sales tool.
There is a real art to it, but it's very much worth noting that the only good model is a model that works. And some of you who are thought leaders would have heard that quote before from George Box, but it's very, very important. We get so tied up in trying to work out whether the model is theoretically correct. It doesn't matter. The only good model is a model that works. Now, it's not just small business and thought leaders and single people in practice that are using models. Big companies like Suncorp, this one's from Suncorp, they're using this to simplify their methodology.
Then we've got another one from Google. This is their pay-per-click model that they've got. So this is simplifying. So there's so many reasons why they want you to buy the pay-for-click advertising. So they've developed a model to simplify your understanding of that process. We've got another one here, a positioning model as well. So this is just another way you can create your models. And also I really like this one too. It's about website production. So when you are in a business where it's really confusing to understand how all of the aspects of what you do come together to deliver the outcome that you promise your clients, presenting it like this company has done in a model format is going to be engaging. It's going to be aspirational and exciting for your client. A really powerful sales tool.
Yeah, it's just really important to know that the job of a model is to underpin your sales conversation, to take some of the detail in words out of what you do. It makes detail simple. Now, some of these models have a lot of information on them, but they simplify the process or they simplify the journey, our value journey. It's all about simplicity beyond complexity. And that's all models are for.
Absolutely. Okay, then. So that was a very quick look into models and the visuals that will wow your buyers. There's a lot more thinking to do there, but it's really important for us to speak to you about how important these three elements that we've just gone through today. So
for more information, just reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Send us any questions that you have around that, because these are really important points we're talking about. Models are super important for clarity. Your pitch, when you're confusing from the minute someone first talks to you, boom, straight into what we call the no zone. Threat response, they're out of there. So your pitch needs to critically be as clear as possible. And there's a lot to this, but exciting work. And I know that you're all in this webcast to learn this and to get this right. Okay, so what we want to do as we're wrapping up to this in our webcast this morning is to look at some of the most common mistakes. Let me pop myself down into the bottom corner here. All right then, so this is what happens that makes people stop being clear and keeps them in that confused situation. So right now, you cannot pretend that it's still business as usual. Things have absolutely changed. We all know that. So restructuring, re-strategizing, and reworking what you're currently using in your business is highly critical actions to take right now.
It is an action to take right now, but just remember that every market expires. Every market matures. Changes come along. There might be a legislative change that has an effect in your business. So whenever any major change comes along, it's important to go back and re-strategize and do the thinking. So yes, right now is that time.
And this is what I'm talking about next, failing to stop and to re-strategize. You have to do that. We spent the whole of April madly re-strategizing with all of our clients and for our own business as well. Things had changed dramatically. We all needed to stop and rethink the direction forward. Using procrastination via distraction, being highly distracted. There is so much going on. We're all online now. We're used to presenting these sort of things at the front of the room. Now we're all on Zoom. We're all online constantly. Don't be distracted by everything else that's going on, social media, blah, blah, and use that as procrastination. The time is now.
Well, that's a real deliberate decision.
Absolutely. Also, not planning to the last detail. Thinking you can wing it. Thinking you can wing it. Winging it, there is a severe cost to winging it. You must plan and get yourself organized down to the last detail. It makes the biggest difference. for getting to be the person that others want to buy from. Get a smile on your face. Quite simply, that is one of the most easy things you can do that will attract people to you and make you easier to buy from. If you sit there nice and serious and just, you know, in your own head thinking about what you need to say next, you are going to push people away from you. So be open, be warm, be the person other people want to buy from. And last but not least, believing near enough is good enough. It's not. You need to make sure you are planned down to the last detail. I think I've reiterated that point twice now because I can't tell you how important it is. You need to make sure you are organized and well thought through. Okay, so that is a really deep, you know, quick, and I suppose there is a lot of detail in there. We've got through it within a short time frame. But if you're sending your questions through, please put them up into chat now. I can see that we've got questions there. Now, what I want to do now before we go to questions, because I know loads of you are going to have a lot of them, is actually talk to you about what is next and what you can do if you actually would like to learn more from us. Now, many of you are in a situation where you do want to actually make some pretty massive changes in your business right now or in your practice, and you're saying, what next? What can I do? So if that is the case for you and you'd like to actually take some initiative and really throw yourself into this because you go, right, this year has not been how I want it to be. I want to do something different and I want to get quite detailed and deliberate with my thinking, then what you can do is actually look into our online training, Your Sales Success Kit. So as you can see here, what is included is total access 24/7 to our online training. This is our latest IP that we delivered, that we created just at the end of last year. It is our 5th iteration of Your Sales Success Kit, and it is detailed learning for you, and you've got access to that 24/7. Also, you can learn at your own pace from anywhere. Normally, it's a 12-month access to this online training. You can learn from any of your devices. I'm going to talk to you about the access that you're going to get moving forward. Also, double down on your learning with training workbooks. We've got a detailed workbook for you to work through. You watch the videos, then you watch your modules, I should say, which are all small videos that have been professionally created for you. And then you've got a detailed workbook that's going to take you through exactly the type of thinking that we've been talking about today and so much more. So step-by-step approach to developing your pitch, giving you the full framework and all the thinking you need to do. The targeting thinking, what you need to be thinking about from a targeting perspective to create sales messages that are going to resonate in your conversations and in your marketing material. And then also there's a load more content that you need to be thinking through to really have those conversations that are going to work for you and attract the right clients and convert your leads. Remember what we said at the start, every lead is so precious right now. They are like gold. You want to make sure that you are converting each and every lead that is right for your business. So our online training normally sells for $997. For 12-month access. For our webcast listeners only, we are selling it for $497. That is over 50%, and with lifetime access. So that is, and also we're going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you purchase it now, then if you don't think it's everything that you want, then we're going to give you your money back. There's absolutely no risk to you. We know how powerful this online training has been for so many of our clients in the past and who are doing it right now as well. So that is an over 50% discount. You can jump on and use your coupon code, which is the word CLEAR with a capital C, CLEAR as the coupon code. And this is valid for you until next Wednesday, the 9th of September at 9 a.m. So this link is going to be sent to you to purchase the online training if you'd like to do so. It's going to be sent to you at the end of this Zoom call. And also you can find it on our website, Your Sales Success Kit. So I'd love to share with you very briefly some client experiences of people who have done our online training, and there have been hundreds, but just to give you an insight of a couple. Peter Foster, Director of Financial Strategic Insights. Your online training is superb and just what I needed. Also, Kendra, I should say, from Kendra Shank. photography. Oh my God, I've listened to module 1 4 times now, and every time I listen to it, I learn something new. This has been so great. I'll be moving on to module 2 soon. And also Kath Walters, who is a fantastic referrer for us. Optimize your results. Listen to the recording. It's going to be sent to you tomorrow, and finish the exercises. We're going to build on this each week. Follow the rules. We'll send you a tip sheet. Contact us immediately if you'd like help, and snap up our over 50% discount of your sales success kit. You need to do that by next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Oh, going back to that. So our next webcast, as we said, is at 10 o'clock next Wednesday morning. We cannot wait to have you there. Now, before we go, we've got a couple of questions that we would love to answer for you. Okay, what have we got here? We've got 2 minutes and we've got lots of people still on the call. Okay, so what have we got here, Cole?
The first question we've got is simply we get more info on the targeting exercise. In the information that we send out, there will be some more information there. But if you do require further or more detail, then please send an email through to success@salesspace.com.au, and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction. So that one's pretty easy.
Yes, but also, as I said, there's detailed information about targeting in the online training. We have put loads of work in there, and loads of IP in there. It's a structured framework for you to be able to do your own targeting thinking, which is incredibly important.
The next one is just somebody's asked, what's an example of a benefit to the client in the pitch?
Okay, so if you go back to the example that I gave, the benefit of the client was so that your revenue reflects your expertise. So that is a benefit to the client. So quite often we are talking to people who are experts in their field, and they are working their butt off but not making enough money. So when I finish off my pitch, I will say, so that, and that's a part of the framework, your revenue reflects your expertise. So if you are highly expert at what you do, your revenue is high as well. And the next one is, how does time affect messaging? Well, time is critical. Cole, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so when we're talking about messaging, we go back to that model that we had, the right message to the right people at the right time. And we said that typically each of those can be variable. And for today, we're just talking about timing being fixed. Now, fixed timing might be around a particular situation. It may be around, just say you've been asked to be interviewed on a podcast. So both the timing and the people will be fixed. But sometimes we've got open timing, and so timing doesn't matter. But timing is something that we need to consider so that we can change the message. If you were having a sale this week and you're advertising it after the sale had finished, then the timing affects the message. You'd be putting the wrong message out at the wrong time. So just start to think about how timing does affect the message. I think the key with that is to understand that there's a number of different types of time. So it's not just about a date. It's not just about a season. It can be about one of those situations that you identified that your ideal client was experiencing.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for your questions. We could spend hours answering them now too. There are so many of them. I know all of us have to run, and we will get back to you regarding your questions. But please do follow these next steps. Very important. We can't wait to see you on the webcast session number 2 next Wednesday at 10 a.m. And the link for the online training will be up in the next, when we finish off our Zoom call now. So thank you so much, everybody.
Beautiful. Thank
you.
And
we really look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.